Hello everyone, Reggie Time here with the second of my full ring blog type videos. There's going to be no live play today. You're going to know how long the video is because you better see. I'm not expecting this to be a huge long video. The format's going to kind of be quick look at the results, quick look at the whiz of the database, look at some of the biggest hands we've won, look at some of the biggest hands we've lost, and then just capture some random thoughts along the way. And yeah, it's more of an update than certainly won't be any real educational value to it. Maybe, you know, there'll be some, like, you'll see some things and you'll be thinking, all right, wouldn't have thought that, or I'm not doing that. But it certainly isn't going to be very strat heavy, and we might try and like do one of these a week, like an update thing. And I don't know how we're going to squeeze some strategy in. I'll have a think. Might be able to do it, might not be able to do it. Maybe one day a week we'll just do a something else video that isn't full ring. Maybe, I don't know, we'll just do a 2 table in 16 and L6 match or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll do one of each a week. I haven't really thought about it, just thinking on my feet as we go along. So anyways, once again, thank you very much for helping me get to 1,000 subscribers. We're up to 1,008 now. Brilliant. Really pleased with that. It was just like a small personal goal that I was always going to get to, but it's nice to have got it over the hump. But please don't forget to subscribe, share, all that nonsense. Just get involved and get involved in the chat below. So without further ado, let's have a look how the week's gone. Not quite a full week of play, and it's gone pretty well. There's been some ups and downs, been some points where I felt like kind of just jacking it in and going back to what I normally do, normal games, but I stuck at it, and I'm really pleased. I got just over 20,000 hands, which is massive for me. I haven't put a 20,000 hand week in for many a moon now, and we're talking a super long time, years, literally years since I put a 20,000 hand week in. So I'm really pleased with that. EV wise, I'm slightly below EV, virtually a push, and I'm not going to argue with it either way. Red line, typical full ring kind of red line, losing at around 10 blinds 100, sometimes sharp, sometimes not. I mean, we've been messing around with the game a little bit, especially there. I was kind of not really sure what the fuck I was doing, to be honest with you. I was like trying to tinker with a couple of things. It had a knock-on effect on a couple of other things, and I guess I should talk about what that was during like this time here. It was a few things. I started off at the start of the graph just knitting it up, not really giving much thought to strategy, and to be frank, just running pretty good. Just like as you can see by the EV, I think we're running pretty good above EV, and we were just running good situationally too, and everything was a breeze. I was like, this is a piece of piss, this, we're gonna smash it, we're gonna crush it, we're gonna do whatever. How hard can it be? And then we had a bit of this and that, and then it picked up again, and then it's kind of when we started, like EV started catching up with us a little bit. As you can see, we started to run significantly below EV, which again, not a big deal, really. It shouldn't bother us, and it wasn't the running below EV that bothered me. I was just starting to tinker with things. I was kind of messed around with c-betting strategy. First of all, I stopped c-betting when I missed and kind of just played for value hands. I got it in my head that you make most of your money from full ring through value betting and not through bluffing. Then I kind of thought, fuck me, I'm way too passive. This is when the red line started tanking there. I was thinking, no, we can't do this. This is ridiculous. You know, we need to be having a better c-bet strategy than that. And then around here, I almost jacked it in. This was yesterday morning, so I put like 6,000 hands in 2 days now, which is pretty pleasing. And I almost jacked it in. I was like, you know what? It's a weekend. I should be on Sky printing some money, playing all the weekend fish, etc, etc. But we've done okay on here. We've had like a $100 upswing, almost close to $150 upswing at one point. So I'm glad that I managed to like convince me to stick at it, because I was thinking 10 and L full ring zoom. It's kind of dull. I'm not getting much from it. I played all week. I've only won $50, etc. And I was on a bit of a downswing. I'm not sure exactly what the downswing was. I haven't checked until now. 125 down to 45. So like an 8 buying downswing, which is a bit of a pisser. I don't like gate buying down things. I don't suppose anybody does really. And I was a bit low, low's the wrong word. I was a bit fed up thinking, is there any point to this? But then I kind of started adopting like an old school small ball approach, and I did a lot of things that you're not supposed to do anymore, or that you're not supposed to do. Things that like used to be frowned upon, now they've got different terminologies, they've got different ways of describing what I was doing, and it's kind of accepted again. Like there used to be like you're saying in poker, never bet to find out. We don't bet to find out where we're at. That's called probing now, and we're allowed to make probe bets. We're not allowed to bet to find out where we are, but we're allowed to probe bet, and we're probe betting because we're trying to get our opponent to cap their range, which basically is a really like much smarter way of saying find out where I'm at. And ultimately that's what we're doing there. But it's called probing, and lots of people are doing it now. People really are employing these like small C-bet strategies, like 3-bet one size or C-bet, and then make your flop bet smaller than your open was, or make your flop bet smaller than your 3-bet was. All those things. It's called probing. I call it betting to find out where you are, because that's effectively what you're doing. If your opponent raises, you get him to polarise himself. Therefore, you can respond accordingly. Obviously, we're not like betting small with our strong hand, with our weak hands, and big with our strong hands. We're not doing that. We're kind of using probe sizes with all of my C bets, whether I've got the nut flush, the nut straight, or whether I've got who knows what, just 2 overcards or something. So we are using like the small bet sizing all the time, mostly on flops and turns. Something we talked about a few videos back. Kind of like betting small on flops on turns, getting our opponent to kind of cap his range, and then deciding on the river whether to go for the big bet bluff or the big value bet or the smaller value bet, and kind of wait until the river before we made any of our like bigger plays and our bigger sizes. And to be fair, it's worked fucking ridiculously well. It seems to work even better. I mean, it works really well in 6-max, but it seems to work even better in full ring, which kind of surprises me, because I thought there'd be like a lot of people in full ring just playing kind of scared poker, just like check calling way too many strong hands. I just thought maybe this won't work. I was a bit reticent to try it at the start. I was playing more like old school fucking like big bet poker, like Dor Brunson was teaching in Super System type of thing, where fucking bang, big bets, big 3 bets, big C bets, that kind of thing. I actually now feel that the small ball approach and that small C bets, small double barrels, all those sort of things are way more effective than my approach at the start of the week. And I think like this starting to level out from around here is pretty decent. I mean, there we only lost like, well, similar sort of like downswing to that in terms of red line, but it stopped being that, and it stopped being that bit there. And hopefully now, just delivering a more consistent approach, it's going to go down more when you're running bad. It's going to like level off when you're running good. That's kind of I kind of use red line as a how am I running situationally type of thing. If it's level or going upwards and running well situationally, if it's going down sharply, I'm either playing badly or I'm running bad situationally. That's kind of what I use red line for, really. Use it as an indicator of how well am I playing. So there's the graph. This is how it breaks down in terms of win rate. We've got 20,071 hands. We've won at 7.16 big blinds per 100. Should be 7.5, just about. Really happy with that. And I think that's probably sustainable. I certainly think like 5 to 6 is definitely where the lowest I should end up at. If I was like going to be making plans now going forward as to like how long will it take me to get to a certain amount of money so I can move up, etc., I'd be saying, right, well, I think my win rate is going to be minimum 5, and that's what I'll be working on. So I'd be like, right, I think I can play this 20,000 hands in a week's been a slog, by the way. So I'd probably say to myself, right, set the goal of 60,000 hands a month. If we exceed that, brilliant. If we don't, then if we just achieve it and nothing else, then fine. So we're saying let's go with at least 60,000 hands a month, and let's go for a win rate of 5 blinds 100. So I expect to make $300 a month plus whatever like little bits of shitty rate back I get, which for the record I think I've had something like 2,000 stars coins this week. So I've had like $20 in rake back, plus I think $6 in just whatever the fuck comes out of the chest. So I've had $26 in rake back, which is pretty cool. I've only been raked $116, so my rake back at the minute is running at about 20%. I think I'm maybe running good on that in chests, because I suspect it should be a little bit lower than that. I don't know what the rakeback's supposed to work out at about. I have read it's like 15, 10, 15, 20%, somewhere down there. So maybe I'm running good on chests. Maybe we started off with slightly more stars because we got a head start on the first box. I don't know. But we're on 26. I'm going to say maybe 10,000 hands is worth $10. That's what I'm going to say in rakeback. So if I'm getting 60,000 hands per month in, I'm going to be getting $60 in rakeback, plus hopefully my 30 buy-ins. So that's like $360 per month. Do that for 2 months, instant 25 and 0 bankroll. That's kind of where I would be. If I was thinking ahead, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be like, let's grind November out, let's grind December, and let's plan to start 25 and 0 in December. And that might be where to go with this challenge. It might be that I just say, you know what, we're not going to bother putting our eggs in the 25 and 0 basket. Now I think maybe between now and New Year I can win another 400, add that to my current bankroll, and that's enough to play 25 and 0. And then just win myself the right to play 25 and 0 rather than just put the money on and start playing it. So that might be the thing I might try and do. I might say, right, between now and New Year, let's get this up to a total profit of, what would it be if I had to say 400 to it? 558 plus my initial starting roll. It's going to put me on the rolls to around $800, which is enough to probably say let's take a shot at mixing 16 and 25 rather than mixing 10 and 16, which I'm doing at the moment. And just to touch on that, by stakes, we're not playing that much 16 now, just because it's harder to get in the games, not as many games run. Tables seem to break way more. If one or two of the fish quit, the tables just seem to just break, whereas the 10 and 0 tables don't seem to break as much. This has been done, by the way, with absolute zero game selection, and as you can see, almost zero. I played tried to add a little bit of zoom in, but Zoom games 10 and 0 and Zoom regular tables 10 and 0, like two different games completely. 10 and 0 regular tables are way better than 10 and 0 Zoom is. So that's how it's breaking down by stakes. Statistically, there isn't that much difference between mistakes, and I wouldn't expect it to be. I'm going to play them both exactly the same. If I'm going to start playing differently at 16 and 0 than I am 10 and 0, then there's obviously an issue there. Clearly there isn't an issue with me because I've been playing higher than that for a long time, so the stakes don't bother me. They don't affect my play whatsoever, and like you can tell that by the stats are slightly out, but they're certainly within the parameters of what would be considered normal. So by position, we're green everywhere except the blinds, which is like to be expected. My blind results could be better, but they've been better. It's strange. I think we're still in. I'll tell you what that would be. Perhaps if we actually had the right fucking report on there, it'd be better. So we're going to apply this to all reports, then go to folding position. Yep, so still green in all positions. My small blind win rate is exceptional. My big blind win rate could do with being improved. So I'm not even looking at the stats yet. I think I'm probably playing slightly too passively from the big blind, but overall my game's working really well, so I'm not going to start throwing the baby out with the bathwater. If this was the win rate in after 20,000 hands, it'd be an issue and I would need to fix it. But I'm not going to start changing too much what I'm doing while we're only working on like a really small sample size. So if you want to look at those stats, just pause the video. You're going to be able to see everything you want to see. If there's something you want to see that isn't there, please just ask and we'll crack on and we'll try and find it for you. And then the sessions tab, just to show that we've had mostly winning sessions. This was like the Friday, I think maybe all my Friday sessions was Friday the 17th, Thursday. When was the 17th? It's Monday the 20th now. When the fuck was the 17th? Come on, Reggie. Yeah, it'd be Friday night into my Saturday when I had those two like losing sessions in a row. I think that session had finished off losing a little bit. Plus those two losing sessions there. I was like, fuck you, I can't be bothered. But I bounced back really strong. Just had a bad last session. Well, it wasn't that bad. We've lost like half a buy-in, big deal. But we did run pretty bad in it. We should have won 16, but whatever. It is what it is. So yeah, that's all there is to go through looking at the database. This video's going way longer than I expected it to, but whatever. And let's just look at the however many hands are going to show up in this panel. We'll look at the biggest winning hands and the biggest losing hands, and we'll wrap it up. We'll start with the losing hands. We'll finish on a high. So we've got an ace king all in pre. We're in the kings. I mean, there isn't really much reason to run it through, but we will anyway. He made it 170, which is what, just over 10 blinds. We make it 22 and a bit blinds. He goes all in, we call whatever, and we just don't get there. And kings versus aces, how thoroughly interesting. He raises, we 3-bet, he 4-bets. I should probably just 5-bet jam here, I would hope. Right, fuck knows what I'm doing there. Probably just try to reopen the betting again to get him to shove, I guess. But I mean, that is not like me making like a 5-bet to 35 blinds. I almost never do that. I started like clicking it back and making really small 4-bets, but I think I should just probably 5-bet jam there, but I didn't. Whatever. He calls his take a flop. We bet small as I've been doing. He jams. We obviously snap it off and whatever. We didn't get there. And kings are doing well, aren't they? So we raise kings. He makes a small 3-bet. We make a 4-bet. He calls. He flops a set. We lose. Happy days. Remember this hand. So we flop top set with jacks on it's a flushing board. When we can see his cards now, but it's a flushing board. But it's not super wet. There's like one straight draw out there, really, and that's the 4-6. If he's got the 4-6. Fair play to him. I wouldn't expect him to have an awful lot of 4-6 in his range, so when he does a flush draw, he raises. I should just 3-bet here, because I haven't been finding people raise folding very often in these games post-flop. If they're raising post-flop, they usually go with it. I find the occasional person now started using smaller sizings. Sometimes like polarize themselves and raising a bluff and then fold when I've 4-bet, 3-bet them. But this wasn't when I was playing. This was like earlier in the week. This was on Thursday. I wasn't playing the small ball strategy then. I was using bigger sizes, as you can see. This is over half pot. I should just have 3-bet. I didn't. I let him get there, which, don't get me wrong, I had a 3-bet, he'd have gone with it anyway. We still would have lost the pot. And then I decided to just check call it off, which I'm not sure that I like, to be honest. I don't think it's been my finest hour, this hand. I think we can probably fold this river. Yeah, don't like that, but whatever. As you can see, I haven't vetted any of these hands beforehand. There's no like shame in my game. We play hands badly sometimes. We all do it. I'm no exception to that. What are we going to do? At least it's honest. That 3-bet size is fucking rubbish. Why have I done that? Is there a reason why I've done that? Do we know anything about this guy? Nope. Right. I do not know why I've used that size. And I can only assume I've been panicking, playing too many tables. When was it played? The 17th? Maybe. What I have found when I'm playing, like, I've been get up to 20 tables at a time, even 22 tables at one point, and I did find myself like almost sitting out a few times and just like clicking buttons. This could have been one of those times, because that's too small. That needs to be up at like 120. I very much doubt I've consciously made it 95 over the 45. I guess I just thought like, click, get your raising quickly for the time bank and time you out. That's probably what's happened there. I've learned from it now. I'm not playing more than 20. I'm just kind of playing between 18 and 20 tables. 18's completely fine. 20's fine most of the time, unless I've got a couple of decisions at the same time, and then I start sitting out at various tables, which is annoying. I should probably get some software to like auto-activate my time bank. Anyways, he calls, he just flops the nuts, and fair play. I mean, we go for the overbet jam on the turn, which I don't mind, to be fair. He can absolutely have pocket jacks, he can have flush draws, he can have pocket queens. I don't mind this overbet jamming, given that the SPR's kind of close anyway. What did we bet on the flop? Did we make it too small on the flop? Nope. Yeah, but I'm happy with how I played the hand, except pre-flop, but I'm guessing that's going to be due to me fucking up, due to like not giving myself enough time. Oh, another races versus kings, how thoroughly enthralling. We obviously make a pretty big 3-bet. A cold 4-bet, sorry. And then whatever. I mean, yeah, he's made a size that he can only ever really have aces when he does it, but I mean, his kings all in pre-flop. I'm a big fan of the never fold kings pre-flop, especially in heads-up situations. If you like cold 4-bet kings and there's 3 all-ins behind you, maybe then you can fold them, but not in that situation for sure. We have an aces. Someone raises the 8-9. We 3-bet. They call. We flop top set. we c-bet really small, which is what I started. No, this was on the 16th. This was before we started c-betting really small, but obviously we got top set, so I think it's completely fine to use this sizing. The board again looks pretty wet, but we've got top set, and because it's a 3-bet pot, he should theoretically have less flush draws. I know he has the 8-9 here, but he should have less flush draws, because a lot of his suited stuff's going to fall before the flop to the 3-bet. Anyways, he just gets there and whatever. And we obviously continue betting the turn because I'm not as worried about flushes, and then the river we're left with like whatever 60% pot, and we just ship it in and he calls and we lose. Could be a bit thin, don't think so though. Top set, whatever. It's twice we've lost with top set now on the flop in those hands we've looked at so far. Shit happens. Oh yes, this one I definitely butchered. Did not play this one well. Let's have a look at HUD stats, see if there's anything to tell me why we did this. We've had a 25-6, 5 exit. That should be the first warning. We just flat call. Then a pretty standard regular with a higher than average 3-bet goes with a massive 3-bet. He calls. Just fold, Reggie. Just fucking fold, Reggie. Don't go all in, Reggie. Reggie. Yeah, so I went all in and lost, but never mind. And we'll look at the last one. Let's face it, some of the biggest hands you lose, they're going to be because you're fucked up somehow. And I think we've fucked up in at least 2 of these. But whatever, we're all human. I'm not going to edit things out of videos to make myself look good. We're going to, warts and all, it's the whole point of the series is let's have a look at warts and all of the big pots. And whatever, we open the 3s, we get 3-bet, we defend. Get a pretty good flop for 2 3s, not against kings, but a good flop in general. So we float. He checks. I elect to bet just to protect my hand now. At this point, I remember the hand exactly. I was thinking he probably just has ace, jack, ace, queen, king, queen. Also, he's giving up with. Didn't want to let him have a free shot at 2 overcards and possibly a flush draw. So I went to bet. He shipped it in my face. I kind of felt committed at this point. I thought, well, if he does just have like the naked ace or king of clubs, he might do this. Bit fancy play by me. Well, not fancy play. Maybe this is me just overestimating how aggressive some players can be. This guy was pretty aggressive, to be fair. 41-20, 41-21, high 3-bet, high-ish, like 1 when saw flop. Again, not my finest hour, but I decided to be a hero, and as is often the case with heroes, they end up dead. And this time, I ended up dead. So there we go. There's all the big pots that we've lost. Let's look at the big ones that we've won. How the fuck have I won? We'll work our way up to that. We'll work our way up to it. We'll start at the bottom and work our way up this time to the biggest pots. So we'll get the fucking HUD stats off, Reggie. That's a mess. We open pocket 7s. We get called in 2 spots. And we flop a set. How wonderfully interesting. And then, well, we go for the check result. We go for the check raise, which is probably fair. It's probably reasonable because a lot of the times I will c-bet this board and I will just give up on the turn, or I will start pot controlling with pocket aces, pocket kings, pocket queens, that type of thing. So it's nice to like throw a set into it. Quite like it. I think it's quite sexy. Check raise gets called and pretty shitty river, but I guess I don't dog it. With Germany, just massively hero calls us with 3rd pair, which is nice. We'll take it. I think I'm not going to like this one. So we've 3-bet the Jack 9 suited, and this guy's a regular. In my opinion, he opens a few too many hands in early positions, so I do tend to try and 3-bet him a little bit light. This guy gets a little bit cute and just calls in the big blind with his kings. We flop a top pair. He just donks out. I was thinking pretty draw heavy, you know, there's like lots of gut shots and straight draws out there depending on how wide you're defending, like the 6-5, 7-5 suited, 6-5 suited, then you've got all like the 10-9s, jack, queen 10s, queen 9s, just fucking plethora of straight draws out there. There's a flush draw. and I just said, fuck you, let's just play a big one if you want to lead out, and hopefully you haven't flopped me dead. And I guess I'm playing for a fold at this point, try to get him to fold any equity he has, or just not have to deal with any shitty turn cards. I don't know, it's a bit spewy for sure. He goes all in, we can't fold at this point. Unfortunately, we get bailed out. Min raise, we call the big blind, we flop the world against someone else who's flopped the world. I think this one's a slow burner. I think this one takes a long time to get going, this hand. So he bets 81. We just call, of course. He calls. Turn goes check-a-doodle-doo all the way through, which is disappointing for me, but whatever. And the river comes up. I check again, and I like that because I just want to give people a chance to bluff. People a chance to like thin value bet a king or a queen so I can get a raise in. So I like my check again. Yeah, we lose value from pocket 8s, pocket 9s that might call. If we were to bet, say, 320, if we were to bet, say, 150, we might get called in 2 spots. So, I think if he's got a 4, my thoughts were he's going to have to bet the river himself if he's got, you know, whatever, a king or a queen, one of these guys. I don't really know. I just didn't think either of them were particularly strong. I didn't think they could really call bets. If I led out, it kind of looks a lot like I've got a 4. So I decided to go for another check, just hope someone stabbed so I could get a raise in. He did, of course, with his full house. And then I kind of sat for a second and thought, fuck me, I hope he doesn't have quads, and called anyway, of course. And he didn't have quads, and we won the nice pot. We 3-bet jacks versus I am not fat. I absolutely am. And we flop top set. And we bomb the turn, and he decides to jam for who knows what reason. We have the easiest call ever, and he's droid dead. So, good for him. Kings all in pre. Open. Called. Don't know this player. Don't know either of these guys by name. Might know them by stats when I'm playing. We go for like the 4-bet, which kind of turns our hand face up as aces or kings pretty much, but queen ace clearly didn't get the memo and just stacked off anyway, and it's a really poor stack off by him, really poor in my opinion, but we'll take it. Make a huge isolation race in the big blind over 3 limpers and a complete. Ace 90, so well, every fucker decides to call. We flop absolute gin. We make a super small c-bet. Just if someone's got an ace, we're going to get all the money anyway. He calls. Another guy calls. At this point, I guess I just thought, fuck you, someone's going to have an ace here. Let's just make the pot really big right now. I guess that's all I could have been thinking. Once someone calls that flop, one of these guys has got an ace. If they got an ace jack or something, fuck my life. But once 2 guys call, one of them's got an ace. There's no sense making a small bet. Let's just fucking shovel chips in. Which we did, and he randomly decides to fold the fucking river, which is amusing because fuck knows what he called the flop with, the turn with, and the flop for that matter. But maybe he had a king queen or something, who knows. Seems unlikely though. Here we are, 2 queens versus ace queen, always a good situation, especially when you flop top set versus, middle set versus 2 pairs. I would go for the small c-bet. He check raises, I call. He bombs, I jam. He calls, and there you go. I went thralling. Oh, I remember this hand. This was a lot of fun. So we open the queens. We get 3-bet by a short stack, and it goes call. And this guy like jams his short stack in too. I mean, this is a really good situation for us. We just keep shoveling money in at this point versus these stack sizes. I don't really think Sergo, whatever the fuck Sergo, can have too much. It's been a 3-bet and a call. They're going to be blocking each other a lot in these situations, I think. And the Queens is going to have probably a decent chunk of equity given it's a 4-way pot. Anyways, every fucker decides to go all in. I have no idea what this dude's doing at this point. Maybe just thinking, fuck it, who cares, pot odds, whatever, shovel the money in. And we fade those spades really nicely, and we drag a big one. We drag a $27 pot, which is pretty sweet at 10 and L. And then this one, the pièce de résistance, that I do not remember. It's probably 16. That's probably why it's... oh no, it's 187 big blind pot. Oh no, yeah, it's a 16-nil hand. Nothing much exciting, actually. It's just a 16-nil hand. Oh no, it's not a 10-nil hand. Okie dokie then. Interesting that none of my biggest blinders would... Sorry, my big blinds. Fucking shut up, Richie. Get on with it. Oh, yeah, remember now. Just the standard 15x open from a 46-42, and then a 78/5 decides to just peel the Queen Jack. So we've got a 46-42 and a 76-5, which is really sweet. We have the Ace King. I think I just fucking jammed here. There's enough money in that pot already. 2 donkeys, 2 really bad players. There's tons of money in the pot. Let's just fucking pick it up if we can. So we just go all in, which I think is completely fine. And both guys decided to furnish me with a call, and we hold. So there you go. That is the week in review. It's taken 30 minutes. I did not expect it to take anywhere near that long. But hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hope you got something from it. Hope it's maybe inspired some of you to make the switch if you're struggling at 6 max. Just to say, you know what, I'm going to see what Reggie's up to. I'm going to go and have a little go at the full ring games. They are certainly softer than 6 max, and this is why I'm probably going to rant for another 10 minutes now. They are softer than 6 max because of this. Let's just pull up like a random table. Well, this one right here. We don't have these two. You don't always have these fish, but this is the key fact for me. 3-bet stats. Just not that much 3-bet going on, and I think that's what makes a difference between like a tough game and a softer game, is the amount of pre-flop fucking jiggery pokery that goes on. There's tons and tons of dick waving and pissing contests in 6 max. There's much less of it in full ring, so you're just much more confident in your ranges. You're much more confident in reading your opponent's ranges, and the game just plays much easier. It plays it plays quite a bit smaller, and it plays a lot easier. It really does. It's just not that hard to get away from tough spots if you're playing against people who aren't that aggressive. It's much easier to make big folds against like pretty like nitty, weakish type players than it is to make big folds against the guy who's been fucking pounding on you for half an hour and who's playing 25-20 with an 18% fucking 3-bet. I just find it much more relaxing grind. Probably why I've managed to put 20,000 hands in, because I haven't been like, fuck's sake, every time I play I never see a flop because I get bored. You see lots of flops in full ring. If you like flops, full ring is you're going to see way more flops, and I mean way more flops, because there just isn't as much 3-betting. You can just flat call a few opens. As you can see, we're playing like 14-10. So you can flat opens and you can get to flops, and you can try and flop some nice draws or some sets and things. For me, it's a much nicer game to play. 6 max is for all like the superstars and the heroes. Full ring's more for your slightly more conservative kind of people who like to see flops more often type of game. It suits me. I've always kind of known it. I might even start to mix in some multi-table tournaments, even though I don't really have super long sessions in me still. I think we go by the sessions tab. I mean, the longest session I've been putting in have been a few 2-hour sessions, mostly an hour to 2 hours. So maybe I won't mix too many MTTs in, but who knows. But yeah, I think if you're the sort of guy who plays 6 max and doesn't like the pre-flop aggression that much, if you're the conservative player that isn't super 3-bet happy and hates facing 3-bets, then giving full ring a whirl might just be the thing for you. It's more prosaic. You might say it's a bit more dull, but it's a lot more fun when you're producing graphs like this than it is when you're like producing your zigzaggy graphs that like kind of trend downwards off the screen a little bit. So yeah, I've certainly enjoyed it. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'm going to do another week next week. Hopefully we'll make it through the whole week. We'll hopefully have another one of these to contend with, which will make me just want to like throw my toys out the pram. And hopefully we're back with another, who knows what. We're going to play a week if we get to whatever comes first, another 7 days play or 40,000 hands. Whichever comes first, that's when we'll do the review. And I'll try and work some kind of live play video in midweek, doing who knows what. Maybe we'll fuck it. Maybe we'll play some PLO or something. Who knows? Hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed making the video. I've enjoyed talking about it. And we'll catch you guys soon. Bye bye for now.